Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick. This is my second review from the June 2024 Speed Champions lineup. If you missed the first one with the Mercedes-AMG cars, you can check it out by clicking on the link at the top right corner or below. So today I will show you all the details about the 76923 Lamborghini Lambo V12 Vision GT supercar. What a strange name, isn't it? But apparently that's the full official name, at least according to the page on Lamborghini.com. This concept car was designed for the Gran Turismo game franchise back in 2019, and although there is a single physical version built, which as far as I know is not actually drivable, it really is a concept car. The powertrain comes from the Sian, but it's a lightweight, futuristic single-seater. The design of the background on the front of the Lego box looks a bit like something out of a video game, so it fits the car. We can see the rear at the back, a top view and also the menacing front of the life-size version. Let's open the box. The set has 230 pieces and will be available from the 1st of June, but you can pre-order it now on lego.com, the link can be found below. In the box you will find 2 numbered bags, the instructions and the medium-sized sticker sheet. Here's the parts list if you are interested. Now let's start building. The process begins with one of the axles, then we are surprised by Technic bricks and pins. At the bottom, 2 transdark blue pieces are added, and the next assembly also has some transparent elements. I'm not quite sure what they will symbolize yet, but we will see. So it became a pretty busy little thing with our first stickered element, and it goes to the side here. Again, some Technic stuff. We even have a short studless beam. They become this assembly, then it evolves to this thing, and now it's time to connect these two together and secure them with a cross axle. We've got 2 printed elements here and the bucket handle, they go to the front and will be hinged. Even more printed parts to form the iconic Y-shaped headlights. We will see what the headlights will look like when they are finished. I was a bit afraid of this mounting method as it looked too freestyle for my taste and also a bit flimsy. This is what the build looks like at the end of bag 1. Phase 2 begins with the nicely printed rear wheel arches, but let's not forget the sticker sheet either. I added 4 stickers in a single step. So here we have a minifigure hand armor, a cleaver and a flag, and what is their purpose? They form the rear diffuser and the exhaust. Here's an interesting example of combining printed and stickered pieces. Same pattern, 2 different solutions. The round quarter tile is completely printed, part of it was also applied to the sides, and as the other one needed fewer stripes, they decided to use a sticker. Designers have to make these decisions. They have a certain budget and a limited number of decorated elements that they can request, so they try to find a balance that works. The printed elements here are identical, that can also be a factor to consider. We have these special wedges here on gold hinges that need to be folded out. You might say that I spend way too much time on small details like the stickers, but I always try to understand the reason behind certain decisions. As in this case, we have to put these rear light stickers on the side of the modified plates. That is a real pain to do, and I'm not sure when I last had to deal with this. In the last few years, whenever something went on the side of a plate, it was always printed. I wish I could ask the reason why, but unfortunately no one from the Speed Champions team was available to talk about the set, so we won't know why those printed stripes were more important than the tail lights. I would be happy to trade one for the other. So we have this assembly upside down, then this stickered fin piece, and the whole thing is clipped vertically to the rear, only to be folded down, and wow, we have the iconic Y shape with the lights, it looks really cool. There's one extra step, we need to adjust those parts for the rear wing. The wedges won't clip in because their orientation doesn't match. The rear section is covered with more wedge pieces, then it's time to attach the front fenders. Oops, be careful with the lights, they are not that stable. Some additional parts will hopefully improve the situation here. Well, somehow these are not my favorite pages in the manual. We are almost done with the body of the car, these are the last pieces. Here's one final trick with the support for the windshield, then we just have to attach the printed wheel covers, mount the wheels, and we are done. So here is our finished car and here's the driver. I've read in many comments that it must be Supercar Blondie. Well, it's certainly not official, but she was one of the few people who got to present the real concept car, and is definitely not Shmi, so we can say that the minifigure can be a nod to Supercar Blondie. And, unlike in the concept car which had a disappointing fake driver head in it, the minifigure here can fit with the helmet on. The front section opens like this. It's a bit different to the real car, but it has a tricky studless support for the driver. We have to arrange the hands, and the cockpit closes. It's a really impressive feature. So here's the car in its full glory, and I have to say it looks a lot more impressive in real life than I expected from the photos. It has almost all the characteristic features of the Lambo V12 Vision GT, and there are tons of accurate details to discover. If we start at the front, we have the Y-shaped headlights, which are made up of different printed elements and also stickered pieces, but I think the end result works well. There is the pointed nose. The shape isn't exactly the same, but close enough. We even have the elements of the suspension printed here. There is the cockpit, and then if we look at the side, there is the fin behind the front wheel. All the main elements can be found on the side and also around the rear wheel. There's the engine cover. There are subtle details like the gold pieces that can be seen here under the black ones to form this line that continues as a sticker to the rear. Then the gold hinge pieces can be seen a little further back here, symbolizing the cover of the V12 engine, the complex rear wing, the massive diffusers and the hexagonal exhaust pipes, the Y-shaped taillights. Almost everything can be found. Of course, not everything is super accurate, but considering the size and scale, you have to appreciate the effort. Well, you might ask yourself, if I like this car despite the differences here and there, what was my problem with the G63? Honestly, I don't know. This one just doesn't feel right, but maybe it's just a personal preference. The construction is surprisingly sturdy. Unlike some of the previous similar Speed Champions builds, you can grab it in a lot of places and it's a challenge to knock anything off. Even the parts at the front are okay. Yeah, they can be rotated, but that's about it. The weakest point is probably at the rear. You shouldn't try to hold it by those pieces. As for the transparent blue elements, the ones on the bottom have no particular purpose, the color, and the ones in front of the rear wheels are also well hidden. I think they are just placeholders to symbolize empty spaces in the build, but I'm not sure why that transparent color was chosen. The main color is a good choice. The olive green matches the original car, and the golden accents are really nice. These look rose gold on the real car, by the way, but that doesn't exist in the LEGO world. I've seen a lot of people say that this is also the real color of the Cyan, and the Technic version should have used olive green parts. Well, I'm not so sure about that. First of all, this is a one-off concept car that only exists in this color. The Cyan was unveiled with this paint, but all 63 built examples look different, so there should be a lime version as well. I don't think olive green would have looked good here. Imagine this color on the Lamborghini. I think I prefer the lime version. So what about the Speed Champions car? I'm not a big fan of concept cars or ultra rare hypercars with busy bodywork, but I have to admit I like this one. The build was interesting, nothing groundbreaking, but very entertaining despite the amount and size of the stickers. The end result looks good and it's quite sturdy, so yes, I definitely recommend it. Please let me know your thoughts, folks, in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.